Happy Friday. Today's Friday, February 28th. It's the last day of the month. Oh my goodness. Whew, I can't believe it. We've made it. It is officially, tomorrow will be 3 months into the new year. And I'm happy because I think I'm doing great. So I hope you're doing great because I'm doing great. But oh my goodness, I have to tell you guys something. Like, I'm trying to rush to get oil change really quick. I really hope I make it, so cross your fingers because I really hope I get there. I'm trying so quick. It's late, it's Friday, but they'll be closing soon. But I called her, so hopefully I make it. I don't know. And she was nice. She gave me a coupon over the phone, so I'm excited, but I hope I make it. Why is everything so expensive now? Oh, this is making me mad. But anyways, nonetheless, whether it's expensive or not, unfortunately, we have to get oil changed in our car. I wish it didn't. And the worst thing about my truck isn't it has to be synthetic. It's synthetic oil, which is the most expensive. I'm like, thanks. Yeah, so anyways, that's my dilemma right now, but not yours. But yeah, so I was just like on social media a little while ago, and I just heard the most, it's such a horrific story. To me, it's horrific, and of course it is to you too once you hear it. But it's like, it breaks my heart because it was this really pretty girl. She's like what society would deem pretty. If you know me, one thing about me, people always say, Larissa, I never hear you call people pretty, because I don't call a person like, oh my God, she's pretty. My mom and my sister always notice that about me. I don't say that, you guys. I don't know how you guys come to a conclusion that someone's pretty just by looking at them. I'm not being funny, seriously. I don't do that. That's not how I look at people. I don't see pretty. I have to get to know the person first. I'm like, she is not pretty. Because have you ever met women that are so pretty and they have the nastiest attitudes? I don't think that's pretty. And then I meet some women that to you may not be physically or aesthetically beautiful, but they have like hearts that are gold, and it's like, oh, that just makes her beautiful. So beauty is from inside out. I don't look at beauty outside in, I look at beauty inside out. So to me, that's what beautiful is. So yeah, but I'm saying to society, you would deem her as a pretty girl just because, you know, you see her, she's this light-skinned woman, but she was pretty to society, you know. I mean, of course, I understand, like, if you see her on the street, you're like, wow, you know, she has nice skin, she's just pretty. Like, her skin's nice, and she just looks healthy. But she just told a story, and I was like, wait, what? So she said that she has AIDS. I'm sorry, please forgive me, Jesus, not AIDS. She has HIV, which both are pretty horrible, but HIV is a virus, AIDS is a disease. That's like the deadliest part. I think you can live through HIV. You can live through AIDS too with the right medication, but you won't live forever. Don't quote me on everything because I'm not like so schooled on it. I study it enough to know to take care of myself. And I want to share this message because I just hope you guys are taking care of yourself, because I do know in my heart, like the Lord, because I pray a lot, the Lord has been letting me know that the lesions are going to start coming back to people's skins. So do not get comfortable and just start lounging around with random men and women. It is serious out there, you guys. STDs stuff is serious. It really is. And I love how Christians are saying an STD is what is it? A sexually transmitted demon. That's what it means. And it's true. You may not wake up with a disease, but if you're just sleeping around, you can wake up with demons. Trust me. I've seen it with people, and I've heard so many stories. You can wake up with a demon. Don't fool yourself. Just because you think you know somebody, you don't know these people. You just don't. Some people carry a whole demon. Men as well as women. Nobody's exempt. So don't fool yourself. But listen, she just was telling people the 3 first symptoms that she knew, the 3 first signs that she had HIV. She said, I'm only going to tell you the first 3, but she's like, there's so many more. But the first, I guess, clear 3 signs was she started vomiting and had diarrhea for an entire week. She said it lasted every day for the entire week, just vomiting and diarrhea. And then she said she broke out with all these rashes all over her body. And she said it was bumps all over her body. She showed pictures of that. She said, and then I had all these bumps, and you know, she's light skinned, so you couldn't see them. They were like red little bubbly bumps Not like the monkeypox or anything. They were just looked like rash little bumps. She said it was all over my entire body, and she said they didn't itch or anything. It was just a rash all over my body. And she said the last evident one was a canker sore inside of her mouth. But she said, I'm going to show a picture, but this is not my picture. And she wanted you just to see what a canker sore was. But she said the one she had was huge. The one she showed was pretty small. Like, you know, they teach us when you get that, you told a lie and, you know, inside your mouth. But hers was enormous. She said it was so big, the canker sore in her mouth. It was very, very big. And I said, oh my Jesus, like, that's horrible. You know, you shouldn't be doing any certain things. Like, even I kissed a lot of frogs in my day. And I said kiss, don't you change my word. Like, frogs, I'll kiss a frog, but that's it. Like, with your lips, nothing else. Like, we're not doing that, because that's because I have a gift. I'm very particular about I just don't even want that other type of kissing. That sensual kissing. Like, no, that's for my husband and my husband only. We're not doing that. Like, I don't do that. A guy taught me that years ago. He's like, no. But I trust him, and I believe what he said is true, and I believe it too. Like, no, you leave that for you and your husband. We're not doing some things you just shouldn't be doing. So just be careful, please. I'm begging every man and woman, take care of yourself. You see my nail, it fell off, my thumbnail fell off. Darn it. But yeah, I just want to encourage you, please take care of yourself. It does, like, this is a story I'm going to share with you really quick, because this man told me this years ago. One guy was in our church. He passed away, and I believe he had AIDS, because he was so nice to my family. We knew him. The whole church knew him. Was a sweet guy. And he has a very nice family. He was raised like in a single mom home, and his mother and his grandmother raised him. But he was in the church years ago, and I remember him telling me and my sisters, you all be careful of these men. And he was like, because men lie. He said they will tell you lies. So be careful. Be very, very careful. And I mean, he got so serious, as though something was wrong. And then months later, you saw his whole body just started to sorry if the radio was so loud, I forgot myself. But yeah, I hope it wasn't drowning me out, but we'll know when we get halfway through the video. Sorry, but he did, months later, he started to transition. Like, he lost so much weight. He had this big ball on the side of his mouth, and it smelled so bad. Like, we didn't treat him any different, and that's why I love God's people, like the genuine ones, because we just knew the person he was, and it was just hard to be mean to him. My heart felt bad for him, because I can imagine like how many people must have taken advantage. I'm sorry, it makes me want to cry, because he was a nice guy. It is sad, you know, because you could tell like men took advantage of him in his days, or I guess someone he was dating, I don't know, but it's true. Men do lie. And some of the men are well aware that they have AIDS now, or HIV, and they don't care. I've heard so many stories, and one of my friends, she's like a nurse. You know, she's a huge nurse now, like a RN, but back in the days when we were just finishing high school, she took on a job. Her mom was able to get her a good job, so she was like an LPN right out of college. She was able to do that. So she told me, she's like, Larice, you have no idea how many women walk in this hospital every day and they're dying of AIDS because they did not know their husband was cheating on them. She's watched so many women die, so many patients, and my friend she's a heavy drinker. She drinks because she watches people die, and she's so sweet, the sweetest girl, and she has a big heart. She's so loving, and she's a very caring girl, very, very caring. And she's not from this country, so she, she's born and raised here. Well, she wasn't born here. She was born in Africa, but she was raised here in this country. But she always told me like the stories that would just hurt her heart so bad. And it makes my heart hurt just to know that she had to see stuff like that. Sorry guys, I'm trying to figure out the quickest way to get to that street because I gotta try to get this, even if I don't make it, because I'm down to like 5% oil in my car. Who does that? Come on, Larice. But yeah, so it's just 5% because I didn't pay attention. You know, I've been traveling a lot, so I haven't been paying attention to my oil, and thank God it finally beeped the other day. It's like, change your oil soon. I'm like, are you serious? And I look and it's only 5%. But I normally, right here is the tag. It shows me how much oil, and I'm way over. Like, I don't even know what I was thinking. I think I'm over, 4, 5. I'm like over by 4,000 miles. That's horrible. Oh my God, who does that? But yeah, I think I have to count. It looks like 4,000 miles. Are you serious? I think that number's wrong. I hope it's wrong. I don't know. I don't know if the guy changed it the last time I did it either. That's why you have to watch these people. You just never know what they do anymore. Oh my goodness. But I'm just saying, if I can't catch the lady, the guy to do the oil change really quick, I'm just going to pour a quart of oil in until tomorrow or Sunday when I can get it done. So no worries, guys. Don't want to stress you out. But yeah, so back to the story. So yeah, so that was his story. He was such a great guy in the church, but he did pass away, and everybody saw, like he did, he transitioned. And you know, my mom and dad were friends with the mom and the grandmother, so she did confide in them and tell him he's going through a transition. She never said what he had, but it was clearly obvious, you know, what he was dealing with. So anyways, one day I was at the library, I was at the library, and I noticed this really big man sitting in his car, and he was reading a newspaper. He was a African American male or black male. I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anybody anymore, because I'm starting to talk to people like, don't call me African American, don't call me black. Ugh, listen, he was a black man. Take it or leave it. So he was huge. I'm not kidding. When I say tall, this man had to be like at least 7 feet. He was enormous, and he was big, like big. If you ever saw The Green Mile, like he was big like that dude. And he was watching me, but I didn't know it. So after I left the library, this was years ago, you guys. I was only in my 20s. I'm in my 40s now. You know that. You know my story. So I just remember him, then when I got to the post office, I noticed that same car, same guy came over there. So I'm very observant, so I pay attention. But this time he was standing outside the car. He let me go in there and do what I had to do. And then he was standing outside the car. He's like, it's a beautiful day, isn't it? And I was like, oh yeah, it is. And he was like, can I talk to you for a minute? And I was like, oh God. But he was so tall, I was scared. I stayed back for a minute because I was like, oh God, what does he want? You know, I'm like, oh Lord, what is he gonna do now? What's the problem? So he's like, he just started a conversation, and I promise you, it's in my diary. It was so meant for me to meet that guy that day, because in my 20s, I was in a relationship with a guy, and I didn't know if it was healthy or not. And my mom and dad are aware, but my dad never really wanted to meet the men that I date, because he said, if they're not going to marry you, Larice, what am I going to meet them for? Because he's not going to sit there and meet every guy that I bring to the door. So we're not allowed to do that. My dad never allowed us girls to do that. We don't bring people. The first guy I've ever dated, he was the only one allowed. And I went to college with him, and because he lived in close proximity, he was just bold like that. That's why I loved him. He was just so cool. And my dad couldn't help but like the guy, because even though my dad kept telling him to leave me alone, he never went anywhere. He was right there by my side. We were besties, like growing up. Like, I was in college, like I said, I met him, and he was on the basketball team. He was really, really tall. My dad could not stand him because he was 6 foot. He was 6'6". He was so tall, but he was good looking. He looked just like Michael Jordan. So yeah, that was always my type, the tall, dark-skinned guys. And he looked like Michael Jordan. And his friend liked me, and he was on the basketball team too, but I told him, I was like, but I like him. And he was like, yo, he said, oh, for real? I was like, let me hook you up. He's like, I'm introduce you guys. And he did. I was like, he's in my class already. But he did tell him, and we were like best friends ever since then. He just always was just very nice to me. He's our only child. He was the sweetest guy ever, but we're not getting into that. But anyways, this was a different guy I was talking to. He was also enormously tall as well. I think he was like, he was he was only 6'4" though. But he drank a lot, and I was never used to that. I never dated a guy that drank before. But anyways, this man that I met, I was able to confide and tell him, because I had been praying and asking the Lord, like, is this good for me or bad? And I remember he started telling me a story. He said, can I tell you something? You have something that can change that man. He said, you have it. Whatever it is, you can change his life. You have something in you that can change that man. So he said, if you stay with him, don't be afraid. You have what it takes to change him. And no, we cannot change people. So I don't agree, but I understand what he meant, because the right woman, like he did, the guy was living a different life, and he turned his life around. Like, I do believe that I do have the Midas touch. Like, everything I touch turns to gold. I'm serious, except one guy. He just had he had no ambition, nothing. I don't think if I touched him, he would ever turn to gold. I dated him, but I don't think he ever wanted more out of life. So I don't know. Maybe he did do something, but I don't know. He's the only one that I don't think we would ever speak again. But even that guy, there's no bad blood. But back to the story. I'm sorry, I'm drifting, you guys, because I'm trying to get there, but I don't know if I'm going to make it. But anyway, so he said, you know, I want to tell you a story. He said, one day I was walking and I saw this beautiful woman. He said it was a beautiful black woman. And he said, I started talking to her and everything, and we were talking, and she invited me upstairs in her apartment, and I went. And then he was like, I mean, when I say this woman was beautiful, I mean, she was beautiful. And I was not hesitating. I was not going to wait. Like, she invited me up there, and I was like, you know what I was ready to do. So he's like, there was no hesitating for me. And he said, so we get up there, and I'm ready. I'm getting ready, and I'm trying to give her a kiss. I'm trying to get everything flowing. And she's like, wait a minute, I have to tell you something. And he said, listen, I said, we could talk later. Let's just, you know, he said the chemistry was there. So he said, let's get it going. Like, you know what I came up here for. I know what you wanted. So she said, wait, I have to tell you something. And then he was annoyed because he was getting impatient with her, and he was like hot and ready. And he said, she said to me, I have AIDS. And he said, I said, yo. And this was an older man. Like, I was in my 20s at the time, but I could tell he was like at least 40s, 50s. And he was like, I said, oh my goodness. And he said, are you serious? And he said, this woman was beautiful. Like, nothing was wrong with her. I would have if she never said anything, he said, I would have never known she had AIDS. Nothing about her looked like AIDS, he said. And that was scary. So he was like, sorry, I'm trying to think, because I'm like, where's the road? I have to get there, guys. So I think I'm on the right path. Sorry, give me 1 second, you guys. And she's like, so he did say, he ended up telling, he said after that, he said, I don't care. I want you to know I kissed her anyway. And I said, thank you, thank you, thank you. He said, because if she was dirty, she could have just let him sleep with her, he said, and he could have woke up the next day and been a man infected with AIDS. And he said, he thanked her. He said, I kissed her and I thanked her. And I just said, thank you, thank you. So he just said, that's the moral of the story. Don't pay attention how healthy they look. It's a lie. Like, just because someone looks aesthetically good, like even somebody like me, do not go by, oh my God, you look healthy, you look fine. No, it's the people that look fine. They have it. Like, that's what scared me just now, to see that young lady. She has her skin is beautiful. Like, she exudes beauty. Like, her skin, I'm talking about, is so healthy. There are no more rash bumps on her skin. Nothing. You would never think. So please take care of yourself. I don't know why men and women are just getting so comfortable out here now with just any and everybody, because my heart hurts for so many women in the church now, because they're just having babies out of wedlock. And so you're doing the same thing. clearly you're not taking care of yourself. So you don't know who these men are. Don't just assume because they're in church they don't have AIDS, because that's not true. A lady once asked me, did you think there's people in the church with AIDS? I said, absolutely. Are you kidding? Is that a joke? Especially, I'm sorry, because a lot of men in the church are down low. Don't you fool yourself, sisters. Please don't fool yourself. A lot of men in the church, they are married, yes, but they got a boo thing, a man thing, not a woman. Your husband, some of you church people, a lot of church women need to understand, a lot of your husbands, oh my goodness, they are into men. They are not into women. They're just pretending with you. And I see it with my eyes. I'm like, ooh, because you could just look at some of them and just tell they're into each other. It scares me. Like, the stuff you see, like, you just see so much in the church. I see it. I don't understand why people can't see. It's like, what do you not see? Like, the sisters will be like, oh no, my husbands are going on the retreat. I'm like, girl, he's not going on a men's retreat just to go. He's going to be with his man. Like, you see it. Just really see it. And there's women too. Don't be fooled in the churches anymore. Some women are lesbians. They are. And it's so bad because they're coming on to other women and they're trying to coerce them. And be careful, because your own husband is trying to coerce you into being with another woman so he could be with another man. I told you, I heard this guy, as a young man, he's not interested in me. He was just saying with his girlfriend, we were just having a conversation. He's like, yo, I don't care if my girlfriend is with another girl. She just better not be with a man. And somebody said you should watch a guy who says he's okay with his girlfriend being with another woman. But so does that mean it's okay for you to be with a man also? Like, if he's not threatened by her being with a woman, so does that mean he desires a man? So that's creepy. Like, it's something to keep in the back of your mind. Like, seriously, watch people, because you really don't know, like, what goes on in their mind. You don't know. You just don't know. You don't know what goes on in the mind of people. So you just have to be very, very careful. And just be very, very careful. Because the world we live in is so... Satan is shrewd. And please understand, Satan is coming to kill, steal, and destroy. Especially the more you see the days of the Lord approaching, the more you see the day of the Lord is approaching us. It's soon to come. Jesus is on his way. So don't you think the enemy is trying to destroy as many of us as he possibly can before Jesus comes back? Of course. So pay attention. Do not give in to these men and these women. Pay attention. If you do anything right now, it's time for you to just say, you know what? I'm going to be to myself. I'm not going to, until your husband or your wife comes, don't be out there just casually doing anything, because it's not called casual anymore. Don't ever get in the heat of the moment. If you do, you better go to that store and take care of your business. I don't condone it. I'm a Christian woman, so I don't condone it, and I pray that you can get to that moment. I mean, everybody cannot wait. I get that. That's on you. You have to answer to God for yourself. I answer to God for myself. So, I mean, it's still in the Bible. Fornicating is wrong, you guys. Committing adultery is wrong. Homosexuality, it's wrong. It's against the will of God. So, I'm not going to tell you to go ahead, yeah, do your thing. No, I'm not going to tell you that. I don't tell my friends that. I have friends that are my age and they were doing well, but they've given in now. It's like, I can't do this anymore, Larice. And that's you. Like I said, you're going to answer to God, not me. I'm going to answer to God for myself. And I have to learn that even with my family members. My heart hurts to see family members too. It doesn't matter who they are. I just want people to do the right thing, but I get it. I'm human. We are all human. Remember, the heart is willing, but the flesh is weak. And it is. That's why it's so important that you have to protect your eye gates and your ear gates, because what you see is sometimes what you're going to desire, and what you listen to is going to cause you to desire it. So you have to be mindful. That's why I try to watch as many Christian movies as I can, and I'll invite friends to watch it as well, because it keeps our mind clean. Like he said, keep your mind stayed on Jesus and he'll keep your mind in perfect. I have to do that. He'll keep your mind in perfect peace. Like, that's something you just want to pay attention to. Always keep your mind right, because that'll have you just doing all kinds of things you don't want to do. So just be mindful of that, you guys. I'm almost there. I hope they'll let me in, but I don't know, because she said it takes like 15 minutes. So I don't know, you guys. But I'm not done with this video. I'm going to make a part 2. But remember, watch part 2, but keep God first, okay? I'll see you guys in a minute.